Would you rather visit a theme park on a busy day with everything open, or would you rather visit on a quiet day with no lines, but half the rides may be closed? That's the scenario you'll need to decide between if you're trying to visit Wild Waves theme park. This is the largest theme park in Washington state. This is a combination amusement and water park. The park is most popular with locals for its collection of water slides, but the dry side features a handful of attractions, most of which were added during the time when Six Flags owned the park. This park has a lot of potential, but the ride availability is a major issue with this park. I'll explain why in this review. Seattle's metro area has the 15th largest population in the United States, and it's one of the fastest growing cities in America. But for many years, the best theme park option was the seasonal Washington State Fair, or the tiny Fun Forest amusement park at the base of the Space Needle. That changed in 1977 when Enchanted Village opened. This park was located in Federal Way, roughly 25 miles south of downtown Seattle. The park started small, but it expanded mightily in 1984. That was the year the water park was built. This immediately became one of the largest water parks in the Pacific Northwest, and it's become the park's calling card. This expansion tripled the size of the park, and it led to the park being rebranded as Wild Waves and Enchanted Village. Over the next 2 decades, the owners slowly added additional rides. In late 2000, Six Flags purchased the park. In 2002, the park was renamed Six Flags Wild Waves and received 10 new attractions, but they got their signature attraction in 2003 with Timberhawk Ride of Prey. This wood coaster opened as the tallest and fastest roller coaster in all of Washington. While Six Flags invested over $25 million into the park, they sold the park to C&L Properties in early 2007. C&L then leased the property back to Park Management. This change caused the park to be rebranded once again, this time as Wild Waves Theme Park. Then in late 2016, all C&L parks were sold to EPR Properties for a total price of $456 million. Wild Waves then placed into the management of Premier Parks, who still operates the park to this day. The repeated switch in owners has led to the park having a weird feel. In some ways, it still feels like a quaint family park as you walk through the woods. In other ways, it feels like a major corporate park between the pricing and branding, but it just doesn't have the big rides of a big park. Several rides have shared names with other attractions at Premier and Six Flags parks, and the western area feels exactly like the ones found at Six Flags parks across the country in terms of the aesthetic. In general, I like the way this park looks. It makes quite the impression from the outside. The park borders the I-5 expressway, and many rides and slides are highly visible. It serves as a form of free advertising. From the parking lot, you see a wide range of attractions since the park is built on a hill. You see the water park at the base, and then the rides are built up the hill with Timberhawk at the very top. Once inside, I love how the park is a lagoon with rides all around it. It is so picturesque. As noted earlier, there's a lot of tree coverage in the dry park. There isn't too much theming though. It's on par with most Six Flags parks. Many rides have themed logos and some stylization in the plaza, but that's it. One major con with this park is that it has suffered a series of ride removals over the past few years, and you can tell. Some are just bare concrete pads. Others left bits of hardware behind. Then the biggest offender of all is where the former Ring of Fire was located. You still have the old queue line in place inexplicably, but it doesn't lead to a ride. No, it just leads to a garden. This is tied to the park's biggest issue, ride availability. While this park features an impressive 36 rides and slides, expect to find many of them closed on any given day. And this isn't an isolated incident either. This not only reduces the amount of attractions to experience, but it also hurts the overall energy of the park as you walk down the midway and just see rides quietly sitting there. My first visit took place in 2019 the Friday before Labor Day weekend. You'd think this would be one of the busiest weekends of the year, so I figured the park would be well staffed. Nope, half the rides were closed. Flash forward to 2023. Due to an extended work trip in the Seattle area, I actually became a Wild Wave season pass holder. I made 5 visits to the park this past summer. 4 of those visits took place in weeknights, and roughly 1/3 of the rides were closed any given day. Staffing seemed to be the issue. Even some of the rides that were open had rotating ride operators. The most common closure spiting coaster enthusiast is Klondike Gold Rusher. That wild mouse barely operates. In fact, I think it may have been SBNO from 2019 to 2022. That's how little it runs. My final visit took place on a Saturday, and something magical happened. Nearly every ride was open, even Klondike Gold Rusher. I couldn't believe it. But there was a catch. The park was very busy. Whereas my weekday visits had 0 lines whatsoever, many rides had full queues. And since this park does not have the best operations, they move at a snail's pace. A lot of rides have painstakingly slow load procedures. Then the coasters have very low capacities to begin with. Most run just one train. The only one that runs multiple trains frequently is the Wild Mouse, and that seats just 4 people per car. On the Saturday, many water slides and dry rides had half-hour waits. Then a full queue for Timberhawk took roughly an hour. 2 important touring notes. 1. This park will close some queue lines early before the park closes if something has a long wait. 2. This park usually does not offer a skip the line pass, but there is one exception I'll get to later. If you do visit on one of those busy days and want to do the water park, I would arrive at park open in your bathing suit and make a quick lap through those before they fill up. If you only want to focus on the dry rides, I would start with Timberhawk and work your way back down the hill. So it's risk-reward. Do you want minimal crowds, but many rides closed? Or do you want everything open with lengthy queues? It's your choice. That's particularly important if you're visiting with a day ticket and are not a regular. However, I would strongly look into a season pass for at least one person in your party, even if you're going just once. Day tickets cost $50. Parking then costs an additional $20. Compare that to a season pass. This costs $70 online. This not only includes admission all season long, but it also includes free parking, free drinks, 3 bring-a-friend free tickets, and one-time admission to another Premier Parks property. That is a no-brainer for most people who will be visiting with a car. I know it's possible to get to this park using public buses, but I've always had a car while in the area, so I've never personally used them. Wild Waves now covers 70 acres, which is a respectable size, and it's a fairly easy park to navigate. The water park is near the main entrance at the bottom of the hill. Then the amusement rides are deeper into the park. At one point, there was actually a second entrance atop the hill. This was back when the park tried to separate the amusement and water park, but that didn't last long. Both are now included with admission, as they have been for most of the park's life. Now let's move on to the ride lineup. I'll start with the dry side. While this park was once owned by Six Flags, temper your expectations. Wild Waves does not have the loaded lineup of coasters and thrill rides the Six Flags chain is most commonly known for. The offerings are more akin to what you'd find at your average family park, but that's fine if everything was open. The park currently has 4 different roller coasters. The best of the bunch is easily Timberhawk Ride of Prey. This was the prototype S&S Wood coaster. This is noticeably tamer than their later Woodies, which were all designed by Alan Schilke, but Timberhawk does several things well. It has a nice setting against the woods, it's reasonably smooth, and while the layout is not super intense, it does have its moments. The first drop offers nice floater airtime in the back car. The entry into the L-turn delivers a strong pop of airtime up front. And the turns are minimally banked, so they offer some laterals. I have an entire review going more in depth, but this is the main reason coaster enthusiasts will have this park on their radar. It's the only custom coaster here. Wild Thing is an aero loop screw that holds a soft spot in my heart, because it came from the now defunct Rocky Point Park in Rhode Island. This is the lone looping coaster still operating in Washington State, and that vertical loop is quite forceful. Then the first drop offers a little floater airtime as well for variety. Just watch out for the transitions on this one. They can cause headbanging or neck chopping depending on your height. Klondike Gold Rusher is a Zamperla Wild Mouse. While this one doesn't have any airtime, it has some impressive laterals. The ride is minimal braking. The initial hairpin turns offer solid laterals, but the final few turns really slam you sideways. I personally like their violence, but I know that's not for everyone. It really is a shame this coaster operates so sparingly, because it's easily the park's best family coaster. The final coaster is Kitty Coaster. This is a small Zamperla powered coaster. It's smooth, and the helix offers a smidge of laterals. Kids will love it. And if you want the coaster credit, yes, adults are allowed to ride without a kid. Moving on to the flat rides, Wild Waves has removed a lot of their older ones in recent years, but they still have some modern ones of note. My favorite of the bunch is Timberax. This is an inverting pendulum ride from Zamperla. You slowly revolve, getting some fantastic hang time over the top. Rain Surge is an SNS double shot. The launches aren't too powerful, but you do get some fun floater airtime at the top. This isn't the tallest drop tower, just 8 stories in height, but it is one of the tallest rides at this park. Try to ride on the side facing the lagoon if possible. This side has a nice view overlooking the water park. The other sides are blocked by trees. On that note, the park's Ferris wheel is a similar issue as you're also boxed in by trees. Then the park has plenty of spinning rides, some geared towards families, and others exclusively for kids. Related to that, this park doesn't have a dedicated kiddie land like some parks, but you will find 2 distinct clusters of smaller rides. One is next to the western area, another can be found atop the hill. The only water ride in the amusement side is Lumberjack Falls. This is an Intamin shoot-the-chutes ride relocated from Opryland in Tennessee. You head up a lift hill, turn around, and have a 5-story double down. I didn't get any airtime in this one like some installations, but the drop has some pep to it, and the final splash is quite refreshing on those hot summer days. I also want to highlight 2 upcharge attractions. First, there's the Soaring Eagle zipline. This ride is uniquely placed over the water park and lagoon, so it looks to offer some sweet views. Second, there's the I-5 dive. While there are taller sky coasters out there, this is the park's tallest ride, 125 feet or 38 meters in height, and that initial drop is quite the rush. One noticeable gap on the dry side is the lack of shows. While I'm not a big show person, I know a lot of families like these to take a break or dodge inclement weather, but I guess it makes sense not to have these if the park is already struggling with staffing rides. One of the most popular times to visit is Fright Fest. I personally haven't gotten to experience this Halloween event here, but some locals have said it's okay, and about on par with what you'd find at a Six Flags park. 4 important touring notes though. First, the haunts are an additional $5 fee each on top of admission. Second, rides have staggered schedules to maximize available staffing. You can see this online. Third, this is one of their busiest times of year. Expect extended queues for the available rides and haunts. Fourth, and tied to the prior item, the park offers a VIP skip the line pass for $50. This is the only time of year they offer such a pass. This allows you to bypass the wait for the 3 haunted houses, plus Scrambler, Brain Drain, Wild Thing, and Timberhawk once each. This could come in handy on the busiest nights. Now let's move on to the water park. There is no shortage of tube slides. You have 2 larger towers with multiple slides each. The newer of the 2 is Pacific Plunge. The older and wilder of the 2 is Conga slides. The latter have some fast-paced turns in near total darkness. Riptide is probably the park's most popular water slide. This is a bowl slide with a zippy initial plunge before spiraling around the toilet bowl. But my favorite of the tube slides is easily Raging River, mainly because of how unique it is. This combines elements of a lazy river, pool, and water slide all into one complete attraction. Built on a wooded hill, you float from one waterway to the next. These sections are connected by slide sections that keep you on your toes. The park also has a family raft slide in Zuma Falls. This one has good length to it, and a wild turn midway through that chucks your raft up the wall. But there is a noticeable gap in their offerings. There are no major body slides. The only ones for adults are the shotgun slides in the activity pool, but these were closed all summer for me. Then you'll find some smaller ones for the kids in the Hooks Lagoon water play structure. Beyond that, the water park offers some relaxing options like lounge chairs, a wave pool, and a lazy river that goes beneath a few slides. As for food, I haven't gotten anything to eat here. Part of it is availability. There aren't many food stands to begin with, and there's a good chance a few will be closed. But part of it is related to quality. The food just doesn't look that great for the price you'd have to pay. I would recommend eating outside the park if possible. So do I recommend Wild Waves? This isn't a park I'd plan a special trip around, but it is worth visiting if you're in Seattle. The water slide lineup is solid, and there's a handful of amusement rides. Just watch out for ride closures. As noted earlier, you need to pick between a busy weekend day with max ride availability or a quiet weekday with limited rides available. There doesn't seem to be much of an in-between from my experience. How much time will you need? If you only care about the amusement rides, I could see you only needing a few hours to a half day, depending upon crowds and ride availability. If you want to experience the water park as well, you could definitely spend a full day here. If you want a better theme park, I would look into driving 5 hours east to Silverwood. That is the crown jewel of the Pacific Northwest in terms of amusement parks in my opinion. That park has a nicer atmosphere, far better coasters, and a rapidly improving water park. As noted at the start, Wild Waves has so much potential. I know they have a height limit with the nearby airport, but they have plenty of land available. And they also have the large Seattle metro area to draw crowds from. That is part of the reason I'm so stunned this park struggles to find staff. I really hope the park can figure this out to get more employees because it would dramatically improve guest satisfaction. It also may help pave the way for new rides. Why would you add new rides if you can't staff the ones you already have? This park is long overdue for a new roller coaster. Timberhawk is their newest coaster, and that was added 2 decades ago. Beyond that, I would love to see those vacant plots from the removed flat rides be filled in. And then the water park, which is already super popular, could really use a body slide of some kind. It would diversify the offerings and help draw crowds away from the other slides. I would love to see a trapdoor slide specifically. So those are my thoughts on Wild Waves theme park, the main amusement and water park in the Seattle area. What are your thoughts about this park, whether it be the rides, slides, or operations? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.